Why didn't I flinch? Because the laws of science differ fundamentally from those of...
Hello and welcome. This is Trebor 7 with a long overdue telekinesis demonstration video. As many of you know, about 6 months ago I took a little break from PK. I've been doing PK quite a bit for about 6 years straight there, and I felt it was about time for me to turn my attentions elsewhere. So I focused on the physical for a while. I'm driving a 1968 Avatar, and this old body starts wearing down about 50 years. I got high mileage on this thing, so I kind of had to do a little repair on myself. I'm happy to say I had some success in that area, and I focused on a lot of different things in relation to biokinesis, just focusing on sending light and love and healing energy to my organs, specifically my kidneys in particular, and eyes and ears. And I think that all kind of paid off in the end. I see some improvement, at least in accordance to the symptoms. Everything has improved. And of course, I've failed in other departments trying to change my eye color and make my aura visible to everyone, and all kinds of different, grow more hair and, reverse the signs of aging and whatnot, which, time well spent, if you ask me. What's the harm? Nothing, no harm done. But I am back in business doing PK again, and a little story for you here. When I first started back into this, April 1st, I was the April Fool. I sat down with a dollar bill and couldn't move it. I thought, wow, is this what happens when you take a break for 6 months? But actually, it was the best thing that could ever happen to me, because after a few more nights, I got back into it and started moving a few things. And the first time something moved in 6 months, I remembered why I love telekinesis. It's that magic, it's just the feeling you get when it moves. That stuff, you're not supposed to be able to do anything. And a lot of us, hope to do a lot more than what we are. And so far, all I can do is piddly stuff. So I'm going to start calling myself Captain Piddly, I guess. And just forget about trying to move cars and change the weather and do, all these crazy things that we all hope we can do. But just, appreciate the magic of doing anything. If you can turn a side wheel, you are performing superhuman abilities, guys, And I kind of lost that, the romance, I guess you would say, for psychokinesis. So, and I also learned a lot of, focusing on physical things. I learned how to juggle and throw knives and throwing hatchets, and just got a physical exercise routine started and stuff, just kind of even it out, as I've spoken my private tutorials on my website. We gotta have to make a balance between the mind, body, and spirit. And I was just spending way too much time in the spirit land and world. So now I'm kind of focused on myself physically, and I feel really balanced, and I'm glad to get back into it. And I apologize that all I'm doing is moving little stuff, but it gets better, so stick with me. Okay, so here we are, basically the same game here, just different players, moving it up to a little bit larger targets. And I should probably apologize for the low lighting. As you know, most of you practitioners have discovered it's easier to do in low lighting. And I'm doing this at night, which also is usually easier for me. But I think the low lighting kind of helps us distort our bifocal vision and awareness, because we have to get in this sort of, or I have to get in kind of this hypnotic stage. So I apologize, you'll just have to bear with me. As I get better, I'll bring the lights up more and more. But this was I think that first one you saw was filmed April 6th. And this second one, where I was using 2 cards, was the 8th, and then this was on the 9th. And that's basically it for the tarot cards. Okay, now we're stepping it up to a box of cards. If you don't speak English, if you speak English, the box is empty. Anyway, this was just a way to make me feel like I was doing something a little bigger. It's probably not any more difficult than pulling a card. Speaking of pulling, you'll notice pretty much everything you see in this video is a pull, because pull is my strong suit. I'm not very good at pushing stuff, and I'm not very good at working in containers. So I try to just work with go with what's working, because at this stage, that first night when I couldn't move anything, I was like, holy cow, you know, I need to really relax and just go back to the basics and practice what I preach, you know, and keep it as simple as possible. So this box actually doesn't sit very solid or anything, and it was, like I said, about the same as pulling a card, but makes me feel better anyway. And again, you know, providing some more footage for those of you, a lot of people have subscribed and haven't seen a video for 6 months. So. And now we're doing a full box of tarot cards. If you don't speak English, if you do, again, it's empty. And, you know, making these demonstration videos is an important part of this channel. You know, I get a lot of feedback that this is what people want to see. There for a while, I started feeling like, you know, I was this clown at the circus or something, you know, where you just do stuff to entertain people. So I was happy to see when I ran my empowerment series that, you know, there's at least 2,000 or 3,000 of you people out there that are serious about learning this. And I dedicate this video to you. And on to the old trusty hacky sack, which is actually what I used to learn how to juggle. Remember the game on Sesame Street where they put a bunch of items together and say which one doesn't belong? I know it kind of seems like this hacky sack doesn't belong in this stream of demonstrations, but it was actually me procrastinating from working in a sealed container. This was filmed the 18th, and my goal was to move a card in a sealed container. But before I did that, I decided to actually do something fun, you know, something I knew I could probably succeed at and get my confidence built up and get me in the right frame of mind. So I highly recommend that to anybody who's getting ready to do something they've never done. Oh, here you go. I'm using the old heart chakra thing you may have heard about from the moving the hammer video, or I forget which video it was in. But that technique is very effective in a sealed container. And like I said, I was just kind of doing this to get a few moves and get my confidence built up for moving something in a sealed container, which is not my favorite thing to do. Okay, and last but not least, I'd like to introduce you to the airtight container from hell. Now really, I've been using that same container for years. Maybe that helps. That's just a wand I'm using to prop up the card. And you may notice I'm speeding up through this, and I've edited and cut it and made it look like I'm really good at this stuff. But it's really an hour and 41 minutes worth of footage to make this 10-minute video. But here we go, in a sealed container. And I think this is a little more energetic than anything. I'm just pushing energy through, and the card topples backwards. There we go, a pull in a sealed container. And again, using the old heart chakra technique, I get another pull. And then here in a minute, you're going to see something I've never done before, and certainly never captured on video. No hands push in a sealed container. I was quite smitten with myself. Alright, so that's pretty much going to wrap up this demonstration, but like I said, I'm back at it, so I'll be uploading some more in a few weeks, and I wish you all the best. Good day, God bless, and namaste.